Okay. Welcome back to the YouTube Sports Network. As you can see, the topic of this video is not going to be very long. It's just going to be something that I had to do because I made some mistakes in my last video that I did, and I need to correct them because I just can't see it remain where it is without going back, or at least coming out and saying a couple things that I got wrong that I just can't let it go. So I had to just come back here and do this video. Now, what am I trying to say? Yeah, I don't. After I did the video yesterday, I just sent that out. I didn't edit it. See, I don't edit stuff sometimes. I just do it. Actually, I don't edit it at all. I make the video and then I do the video and I let it go. I don't, one day I'll make it, I'll make it better than what it is. But for me right now, I just want to get the message out. Like I say in the past, this is like therapeutic for me. If I can just get the message out and speak and get it out, like out of my system, and to know it's somewhere out there, and it's been said, like that's to me liberating. It's just therapeutic. It's liberating. Keeping things in or feeling some type of way about something is not good. So I can take the next step, do the videos, edit it, and just release it. But I think this forum is this open forum, and I like to just hit the play button, let it go, and put it up. And I'll watch the video after I post it. And then I was, and I gotta say, thank you for the people. Thank you for the reception I got. I mean, I got a good amount of views. I got participation. People were commenting. All Seahawks fans, I believe. 3 Seahawks fans were commenting. And they're saying, no, Kenneth Walker is not going anywhere. Well, 2 of them said, Kenneth Walker is not going anywhere. The Seahawks have the cap space. They're going to re-sign him. I think the first guy who commented did all laughing emojis. I'm not sure what the part he was laughing at. I get it. Maybe he was laughing at something I made a mistake with, which is a couple things I want to clear up. I don't think he was laughing about that, and he didn't have to laugh for me to have to come back here and say something, because those 2 things aren't related, but maybe they're cousins, because it got me thinking just a little bit. But also I watched back and I was like, no, wait, what? Nah. I can't let that fly. They're minor mistakes that I made that I just can't let it fly, because I'm a big proponent of truth and credibility. Like say, not that I judge people, but I mean saying things like small details that if you get wrong, you're like, what the heck, and it can take away from my reputation that maybe perhaps I'm trying to build. Now, a part of me can also move past it and just be like, well, I personally, I care because I'm coming here and trying to fix it, but I also feel like I know what I know. And I know that when I do things like that, it's not because I didn't study or I didn't know what I was talking about. It's just that, all right, I look at so many things and I have so many files in this brain, like so many file cabinets. So I know sometimes when I make a little error like that, I'm like, I'm not gonna, whatever. But this one I want to come back. All right, so point is, now we got the warm up in, 4 minutes and 14 seconds in. I made a couple mistakes. Here's the mistake I want to make. I said that Cooper Kupp was the offensive player of the year 3 seasons ago. So this year was Jackson Smith-Njigba. Last year was Saquon Barkley. 2 seasons ago was when I say 2 seasons ago, I had a hard time yesterday. I'm like, 2 seasons ago, no, like 3 seasons ago. Wait, no, that was 4. Nah, last season was 2024. 2 seasons ago was 2023. 3 seasons ago was 2022. Okay, 4 seasons ago was 2021. Cooper Kupp won Offensive Player of the Year in 2021. My phone's ringing. That's my buddy. I'm playing phone tag. 2022 was Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson won Offensive Player of the Year. Vikings didn't go to the Super Bowl. I think 2021, or I know for a fact, 2021, Cooper Kupp won Offensive Player of the Year. I'm like 95% sure the Rams went to the Super Bowl that year. So it's Cooper Kupp in 2021. 2022 was Justin Jefferson. 2023 was Christian McCaffrey. They went to the Super Bowl, the 49ers. He scored. 2024, last season, was Saquon Barkley. They went to the Super Bowl, Offensive Player of the Year. He didn't score. And then this year was Jackson Smith-Njigba, Offensive Player of the Year, and he didn't score. So I just want to get that right because I said before McCaffrey, it was Cooper Kupp that won Offensive Player of the Year. That's not true. It was Justin Jefferson and then Cooper Kupp. So Kupp, Jefferson, McCaffrey, Barkley, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Okay? 2 years in a row now. Offensive Player of the Year, went to the Super Bowl and didn't score. Now that's going to be something that we're going to look forward. I know I'm going to think, let's see now. Offensive Player of the Year goes to the Super Bowl. Does he score? You know, those are things I'm just going to mix up that potion and put it together. We'll come up with a formula. All right? For some type of equation. Second point I want to make. I said Jackson Smith-Njigba went to USC. Talk about swinging and missing. Going for the fences, swinging and missing by a lot. Now I say that because I said it confidently. I'm telling everybody that it's a great connection because Jackson Smith-Njigba went to USC and Sam Darnold is also a USC quarterback. So that connection right there, yeah, well, I see where you're going with that, but you see, he went to Ohio State. The long line of Ohio State receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr., right? Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. There's a few more. There's a whole bunch. I'm not going to open that because then I got to do another video. Wait, now I know the guys from Ohio State. Hold on, wait. I said this guy, but he actually went to Michigan. Let me give it a whole list. So I'm not going to go that way. Point is, Jackson Smith-Njigba went to Ohio State, not USC. And no one's corrected me on that since I've been saying it a while back. And I don't know why I thought that. So, forgive me on that one. Doesn't take away the fact that they had a connection, clearly. And he is a beast, clearly, Jackson Smith. And I want to actually start to talk about a debate between who's better, Jackson Smith-Njigba or Amon-Ra St. Brown. I kind of want to have that talk because I feel like they're kind of similar route runners, kind of similar. I just feel like Jackson Smith has a little bit more burst down the field, a little bit more down the field type of play. Just gets down the field just a little bit more maybe. But, all right, so want to make that correction. And I also want to make this correction and say that, because I said that Kenneth Walker, you know, they need to get him the ball like 35 times a season. Get him at least 35 catches a season, 35 to 40. I'm looking at it, and he averages about 30, 35, maybe between 30 and 40 catches a year. He does average. So I'm like getting him to like, they got to get him more catches. Well, shit. If that's the case, if I'm thinking they got to get him the ball more, and he already did it, he already gets about 35. But he only averages like 260 yards receiving. Kenneth Walker can be a guy. He legitimately can be like a Christian McCaffrey type of receiver. I really believe with the ball in his hands. I mean, he had a play. I think it was the playoffs or late in the season. They throw him the ball to the flat, I believe. And he just took it upfield. The guy's got a lot of ability with the ball in his hands. You just got to get Kenneth in some space. He doesn't seem like your prototypical, between the tackles type of runner. At times doesn't feel like that. He's more of like, feels like a gadget scat back, but big dude. I think the best is yet to come, actually, with Kenneth Walker. And there's another level, there's another dimension to him that they can unlock. And I think it's going to come out of the receiving game. I think this guy, now I'm looking at it, that he already has averaging about 35 catches a year. 282 yards he had last season. 282 yards he had last season. That's why, good thing. All right, whatever. I made the mistake, but now I'm going back and I looked at it. 282 yards last season was tied for 19th overall for running backs, 19th most. He was tied with Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, I think, has one receiving touchdown in his career, which he got last year. Josh Jacobs isn't your normal. You don't really think of a receiver. So if he's in the same category of Josh Jacobs, who is not much of a receiving back, and Kenneth Walker has maybe a bit more receiving ability than Jacobs, you want to see Walker go higher up on that list because he has the yards per reception. The averages are pretty good for Walker. It's higher than Saquon Barkley, if that means anything to you. I mean, from what I remember off the top of my head from yesterday, Saquon Barkley has averages in his career 7.4 yards a reception. Kenneth Walker averages 7.6 yards per reception. This is for his career. And Christian McCaffrey, I think, averages 8.8, and I think, or is that Bijan Robinson averages 8.8, and I think it's either one of them. McCaffrey averages 8.6, and Bijan Robinson averages 8.8. They're about the same, so they're in that type of category. What I'm trying to say is Kenneth Walker is more than capable of getting up higher in the yards per reception. In fact, I think he's had a couple seasons where he's had about 9 yards a catch. In fact, I think this season he averaged about 8.9 yards a catch. So the yards per catch is there, but it's just not enough yards. You would think get the ball in his hands more. So that's they think that's what I was trying to say. It's like get this guy. Get him the ball in his hand. Get the ball in his hands more when he's catching it and he's upfield. It just feels like I've seen it. I mean, he's had 3 catches, 60 yards. Then one game he'll have like 1 catch, 13 yards. 1 catch, 12 yards. So you can see 1 catch, good for a first down. Get him a few more of those, 4 or 5 catches a game. I know the game is not quite the same when it comes to that. We're not looking at the same Darren Sproles, LaDainian Tomlinson, even just a couple years ago, Alvin Kamara. We're not getting that, Austin Eckler, those type of receivers, maybe even Matt Forte, those type of receiving backs. So I'm thinking that Kenneth Walker could be in that category. Maybe it's just a matter of time. Possibly now in his next stretch of contract, he'll get there. Now is it with the Seahawks? I know these guys are like, no way. They got the cap space. Hey, listen, crazier things have happened. I would not be surprised if the Arizona Cardinals come calling. I'm just saying. So I wanted to come back and correct a couple things that I said. Jackson Smith-Njigba went to Ohio State, not USC. Forgive me. And Cooper Kupp won Offensive Player of the Year. Here we go. 3 years ago. Right? 3 years ago. Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson. Here we go. I'm already off. Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Jackson Smith. So 1, 2, 3, 4 years ago. Okay. All right, I'm done. I'm done with the numbers. Thanks for listening. Comment, please. Like, do whatever you got to do. Take it easy.